Having some grits. Pretty good. Now, I'm going to probably do a little research while I'm doing on this video before it closes out. But, Star Wars. Trending topic right now. And I think the current topic right now is the Jack Black and Lizzo cameo. Which I don't, to be honest, I don't know who Lizzo is. I guess she's some sort of singer and plus size model. I don't keep up with really with the trends that much. It's really uninteresting to me. But of course I know of Jack Black. We were watching that dude. You know, when I rewatched Mars Attack the other day and reviewed it, I didn't know that was him. This was probably one of his first roles or something, but I didn't know that was him. That was interesting. Of course, he ended up getting killed. But that was interesting that it was in it. And then, honestly, I got through, I think, maybe the 2 or 3 episodes of The Mandalorian Season 3. And to be honest, I don't feel the urge to continue watching it. It feels like a filler season that doesn't need to exist. And I heard that it's actually more about the other character more than Mandalorian. Honestly, I had a feeling that was going to happen. I had a feeling. Now, I also heard rumors that Pedro Pascal might be out as the Mandalorian. Force was female. Hey, look. Aside and all, I have nothing against, to an extent, with what they were doing with the franchise, or at least with a lot of what's happening now with the trends of film and television, where they're basically making women as men and men as the women. And I don't, and I love female leads. Okay, don't get me wrong, I love female leads, but political agendas aside, it does get tiresome when you're portraying a certain way of a certain human species in a very, very inaccurate way. But there are also girls out there who are physically strong and all that stuff too. Okay, it's all about one who chooses to do whatever they believe is best for their lives and to reach your best version of yourself. The trend of the phrase, the trend that's saying as of right now. Like, I remember this video of some dad recording his daughter. She knows martial arts. Just brutalizing this tree, man. She was punching the heck out of it and kicking it, and pieces of the tree was coming off. And I'm all, the whole thing of what's happening right now with Star Wars and in certain with the MCU and then certain other trends of the current business of movie making right now reminds me of that scene from Toy Story, the original, when Woody starts to notice that Andy's been spending more time with Buzz Lightyear and he's seen all his stuff, all like the posters, the Woody accessories disappearing and replacing it with Buzz Lightyear stuff. That's kind of what I'm seeing, including even, the sheets, Andy's sheets. He ended up changing that to Buzz Lightyear sheets. Just a thing of the past and something new. But lately, box office results has proven that otherwise. And you've been noticing it too. They'll introduce a strong, lead character who is the face of a franchise male, and then they'll sideline him and focus on a random new character, female, into the main storyline and have it focus more on that and switch it back and forth to it. And like I said, I'm not against female leads at all. Okay, one of my favorite films of all time has a female lead. Sicario, Emily Blunt. She's the lead of the movie, but towards the third act, it kind of tricks you story-wise of what was actually going on. Or Benicio del Toro is kind of the main character, or the movie is kind of more about him. And Emily Blunt's kind of the character who's kind of thrown into the whole confusion, turmoil of the situation. Which there was an interesting video about why someone believed that she was actually the main villain in the film because of her misunderstanding of the world she's trying to adapt to. But as a story choice, that was interesting. But still, she was the main lead in that film. Heck, I think there's actually a couple in Watchmen. So, I mean, Spectre, I thought she was technically really the main lead of the film. To me, I thought she was the main lead. And everybody else was kind of the side from, have I liked everything that they've come out so far with Star Wars? They've been decent. Solo's kind of underrated. Rogue One, I think, is underrated, but I believe it's the best Star Wars film since they've been producing these movies. The Book of Boba Fett was okay. I thought the first episode was strong, and then they kind of deviated into just randomness as to why the show should exist. And to be honest, the way that they wrote that story, that story, felt like it didn't need to exist. Especially when they brought in the Mandalorian to continue the story, and then this current thing that's happening with Mandalorian season 3, and then they plan on doing a movie. I don't have any interest to really force myself to watch season 3. It's just uninteresting, and for me, if they don't introduce the plot like literally in the first episode, or at least a hint what the story's about, you're kind of lost. I had the same issue with True Detective Season 2, where they were choosing to focus on 4 characters. And it kind of took a while to kind of get into, because they introduced all these other characters as the main characters, and there was so much story that kind of intertwined in just 8 episodes. It was actually kind of confusing and hard to follow, for me at least. The thing that annoys me when watching in films, and it happens in life, but it gets annoying as hell, is the constant competitiveness of bashing each other as men and women. It gets annoying, and we stereotype each other. That's why we're so divisive against one another right now. It's appalling, and you just want to check out. Like, man, I ain't trying to deal with this unnecessary drama, and that's what it feels like. I really enjoyed The Last Jedi. I do acknowledge what they were doing in that film, but I thought it was the best one out of the 3 trilogies because it tried to do something a little bit different. Maybe not in all the right ways, but it was experimental as a film. And I thought the action sequences were a lot better than out of the 3. Rise of Skywalker was terrible. It was a bad film. It's the longest one, but it was bad. It was just god freaking awful. And I'm glad I didn't spend my money to watch it in theaters. It just wasn't good. I don't even it's kind of a long movie. There were so many ideas crammed in there. It was hard to juggle all of those ideas to make it cohesive. Batman vs Superman had the same issue, but the extended cut helped it out a bit more. I feel like if you're juggling too many ideas and you're cramming it, Cloud Atlas barely was able to make it, but it focused more on theme and the idea of it, that they were able to deconstruct these individual stories individually to something a little bit simpler, and use the theme of the movie to kind of help tell the story, with the story kind of intertwined. I know we're deviating a little bit off topic here with, but the I can tell even the new trailer for Visions, they're going to be mostly female leads in each of the stories. And I love Visions. I love the first season of Visions. I thought Visions is one of the best Star Wars content to ever come out as of now. It's an experimental piece of artwork. I do like Andor. Andor, I thought was a bit too slow. But actually, you kind of have to kind of just kind of go with it to kind of see where it's going, to kind of see, the of the overall story. It has some pretty good action scenes in there. Star Wars Celebration, I mean, there's a couple movies that they have announced. I'm not really excited for it. I'm looking forward to see what James Mangold is going to do. But everything else, I don't know. I just... not really so interested. Except for Visions. And I think that's the thing of having too much stuff, too much exposure of a certain idea, that it gets overwhelming. Eventually, it's going to fade out. That's kind of why I'm pushing this independent film route a little bit more, for ideas, for more experimental ideas. Even though they're hit or misses, there are also big budget films that are hit or misses. I did not like what they did with the Battleship movie, the game board, and then what they did is what they made the movie to be like. It was like some sort of Transformers mixture of weird looking what's that alien? Invader Jim operating these weird looking Transformer like ships while fighting battleships, and they call that movie Battleship. That was freaking horrible. That was awful. That was an awful film. I can't recommend that. I mean, there are also some bad independent films too, like the first A24 film, The Glimpse of the Mind of Charles Shawn III, is not a good film. And it's by A24, but it's not a good film. I don't know, man. I mean, I just when things get kind of political and they follow a political agenda, it gets overexaggerated. Kind of like venture out. I would love to watch Beef, the Netflix show by A24. I'm gonna try to make time to watch that, and hopefully it gets enough hype around. I heard it's #1 streaming at this time. And guys, to be honest with you, I would love to work on a Star Wars project, but I would kind of want to gear. If I were to write or direct one, it would gear towards more of a experimental route, like the two well-known Star Wars Vision episodes. Actually, one of my favorite ones is the Ninth Jedi, and then the Village, was it the Village Jedi or something? The one with Karen Fukuhara that she voiced in. And maybe a few episodes of like Mandalorian like shows, but it just depends. I heard they're going to try to cut down the production value. Agents of Shield's production value I thought was still great for what they did. But I just don't see the appeal now with with what they're doing with the franchise. I'm not gonna dog much on Kathleen Kennedy, or because she's been a part of some pretty fancy and popular movies that pretty much stands the test of time, reception wise. But yeah. And then they're not gonna get it, or they don't want to get it. They don't want to get it. So hopefully, this action kind of pushes more of the love and rats for independent films and more of original storytelling, to kind of get out there. Because sometimes, and this is just me, man, sometimes the trends, and I don't follow trends again, but the trends of just how everything is just saturated. It gets uninteresting. It gets boring. Sometimes the execution or the love of what's being pitched out is not there, and it just feels lifeless. If there's no passion behind it, it's all about the money. It becomes lifeless. That's really it. Really, the only thing I'm really looking forward to, which comes out, is Visions next month. That's really it. Star Wars, anything, that's really it. I'm not really. I'm surprised they mentioned that they were going to do a Mace Windu, top choice right here, movie. That ain't going to happen. I would like to see the Knights of the Old Republic. I have not done too much research of that. I think that's a game, right? Ooh, shit. Maybe I should get the game on Switch and try it out. I think I remember that they re-released it or remastered it for Nintendo Switch. Let me know how it is, guys. I'm kind of curious about it. I know it's RPG. I'm not too big on RPGs. It depends how the game is constructed. Like Kingdom Hearts is cool, but if it's like what's that? Some of the Final Fantasies, the early ones, I just couldn't get into it. I didn't like the gameplay. If it's if it's like Kingdom Hearts, then cool. But if you're just standing there choosing moves and like Pokemon Stadium, if it's like that and you just seen the moves, I know those are more like strategic games to kind of test the mind, but I don't know. Those games are kind of interesting to me. But let me know. I know it's been out for a minute. Should I get that and just to try it out? Or should I just try doing research to kind of learn in more of it? Because I feel like there's so many ideas and stories out there that's being built around the Star Wars universe that they're not taking advantage. I really don't, to be honest, I don't like the idea when Mark Hamill moves on, and I mean it in the other sense. Are they going to just CGI his whole body and keep using him for a future project, and all you see is a CGI lifeless version played by another actor? Hopefully they recast it to, maybe Sebastian Shaw or Sebastian Stan, who looks almost just like him, to probably take on the role. But if they, and I swear, if they do that, if they fully CGI Mark Hamill, which they de-aged Mark Hamill in the episode 2 of the last episode of season 2 of Mandalorian, they fully CGI bringing him back from the from the dead. I think that's where creativity kind of just goes down the hill. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below, let me know, and what's your whole opinion about this whole situation of Star Wars, which for the last 5 years, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 5 years, people have been complaining about it. And it has not stopped. It has not stopped. For the last 5 freaking years, people still complaining. All right, have a good one.